On April 8, 2024, NASA will fire 3 rockets at the solar eclipse. According to NASA, they are measuring dark matter within the eclipse. Also, on April 8, 2024, a comet called P12 Brooks aka Devil's Comet will come toward Earth's atmosphere.
Look up. Astronomers identify a comet heading towards Earth, and politicians are slow to respond.
And then what happens, like a tidal wave?
Wired talked to Dr. Amy Meinzer, a real-life astronomer who consulted on the film.
Let's take a look at a couple of scenes from the movie Don't Look Up and explore the science behind near-Earth objects.
It's got to be an Oort cloud comet just based on where you saw it. Probably the last time it was this close to the sun was long before human civilization. Look at the arc on that thing.
A near-Earth object is any asteroid or comet that approaches the sun within about 30% more distance from the Earth to the sun. So in other words, it just sort of has to get close to the region of the Earth and the sun in our part of the solar system. NASA has a near-Earth object observations program, and that's a network of telescopes all around the world and even in space that are systematically searching for asteroids and comets that can get close to the Earth's orbit. When we first discover a new object, we have a lot of work to do to figure out what it is. The images that you see in the movie where they're looking at these exposures of the comet kind of marching across the sky, and those are actually images that I took from our NEOWISE mission and made them a little bit larger so you can see them. And from that, we need to figure out where it's going. And we need to make sure that it's a real object and not just noise or confusion with a background source. So when we first get these observations, the first thing we do is we make a list of their dates, times, and positions, and then we send that to something called the Minor Planet Center. And this is a place that has a huge database of all the known asteroids and comets that are out there. And then they play this game of connect the dots, basically, to try to figure out if this is something that we have already seen before. If they can't make a match, then it becomes a candidate for a new discovery. And at that point, the news goes public.
The comet DiBiase, right? Cheers. All right.
There are a lot of rules that govern the naming of bodies in space. In the case of the comet that's discovered in the movie, Kate DiBiase, who's a PhD candidate, and traditionally it would probably take her name. It would probably become Comet DiBiase. So that's pretty realistic. Usually that whole process of collecting the data, identifying the candidate new objects, and getting them posted on the Minor Planet Center's public website, that's pretty fast, and that usually happens in less than a day.
Just tell us what it is.
Its scientific name is Comet 12 Peak Pons Brooks, is now visible to the human eye in the northern hemisphere's night skies.
Happen if an object were to impact the Earth really depends on a few things. It depends on its velocity. It depends on its size. This is because the kinetic energy, that impact energy, it scales as velocity squared. And then also the size. Kinetic energy goes as size cubed. So small changes in size make a very big change in the impact energy. What happens depends very greatly on those parameters. The Earth's atmosphere is really good at screening out objects below about, say, 20 meters across. So kind of the size of a house. Anything smaller than that, the Earth's atmosphere is effectively a brick wall, and the object slams into it and is shattered into a zillion pieces. By the time you get to something that's the size of, say, 100 meters across, or say a football field, now we're talking about something that really could cause severe regional damage.
Comet 12P, Brooks Mother of Dragons, is presently the size of Mount Everest.
There will be magnitude 10 or 11 earthquakes.
You're breathing weird. It's making me uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to articulate the science.
I know, but it's like so stressful. I like trying to listen.
If we have enough time, there are a lot of different options available to us. If we have, years to decades away from any potential impact, you've got things that are as simple as just bumping into the object. We call that a kinetic impact. You just basically take a spacecraft, you load it into a rocket, and you send it into the path of the comet or the asteroid, and nature takes its course. Boom. NASA is about to launch a mission called DART, the Double Asteroid Redirect Test. And in this mission, they're going to take a spacecraft and they're actually going to deliberately run it into an asteroid, specifically the moon of an asteroid. This is important because it allows us to verify that indeed we can actually deliberately alter the orbit of an object if we need to. You have to remember, space is incredibly, incredibly huge. So the odds of any of these objects ever getting close to the Earth, let alone having an impact, are just incredibly rare.
Rare events happening on April 8, 2024. Rare Comet P12 Brooks, aka Devil's Comet. NASA is sending up 3 rockets into the eclipse. CERN is to start up their particle accelerator.
To test world's most powerful particle collider during April's solar eclipse, to search for invisible matter that secretly powers our universe.
Is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me, and oh, I sing. I got that from him. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing no matter what, just because I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, oh yes I am. Oh, his eye, oh his eye is on the sparrow, and I know. Let me say that one more time. I know he watches you too. Me, oh yes he does. He watches.